Hey,
Hello.
I would never stand you up, Deanne. How are
Oh, honestly, I was having a little monologue because there was just one person here, and I was like, imagine if I get stood up. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Same.
I've been interviewed a million times, but I've never been interviewed on Instagram before.
And I'm your first. Oh, yay!
Here I
How,
am.
how's your day been so far?
I have to be honest, it's been hectic and so bad that I didn't even have time to do my nails. They just look terrible.
Hide
And
them.
my
No one will know.
drink with me. But yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy day, and I was up at awake at 5 a.m. this morning because I was just buzzing with so many things to do and ideas. But it's been crazy, but good crazy.
Good. So productive day so far.
Yeah, I would say so. How about you?
Good. Yeah, no, good. I mean, my day started a little bit later than yours. I'm not going to lie, but no, it's been fine. I don't start working until about 3 today, so I've got quite a nice chilled morning and afternoon. So yeah, all good. Mel, it's nice to meet you. Meet you. Welcome to Nexus Talks. Obviously, I've done a bit of research about you and I've read a lot about you, but I'd like to hear from you. Can you just tell me a bit about yourself?
Sure, and it's lovely to meet you, by the way. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
as your guest. I really appreciate it. So, hi everyone. I'm Mel Larsen. I do two things. I'm a coach, a small business coach, although the businesses I'm coaching are getting bigger and bigger, actually. And I'm also a consultant, so in the cultural field mostly, helping people develop teams, develop their cultures, and develop their audiences. And I've worked all over the world physically before lockdown. My last big trip was to Russia. I was there, working there for 3 weeks, and I was in St. Petersburg, Moscow, and I was also in Siberia, which was incredible. So
Wow.
minus 28 degrees, and I could literally feel my nose hairs freezing. That's not kidding. It was amazing.
What were you doing there?
So I was working with cultural professionals, so people who are like leading museums, art galleries, libraries, and helping them develop their audiences and think more about their marketing, basically.
Amazing. What is your favourite country that you've been to, just while we're on the topics of you travelling?
That's like asking me my favourite child, even though I don't have children. Russia would have to be up there. I know it has a difficult human rights record, but it is an incredible, incredible place. That was just like just an amazing journey. Like a lot of the buildings are just like huge. They're like something out of Disney. They're just like
Oh,
it's
wow.
enormous, and the architecture is incredible. The people are incredible. Also, I've got to say Jamaica because I'm half. And Jamaica is just really beautiful place, and it is tragically misrepresented in Western media. I mean, we never really,
Isn't everywhere.
you know, see the incredible history, the culture, the wit, the intelligence. It's just a phenomenal place, and the warmth. So I've been there for work. I've been there to visit family. My father, God rest his soul, is Jamaican. So that was, a really, all of those trips were really amazing. I went with my auntie who took me around the island and said, I'm going to show you your roots. I went there to work, research across the Caribbean for the British Council, and also went with a former boyfriend and stayed with his family. So I've had 3 like very different trips.
It sounds so nice hearing about travelling since we've all been
So
in this corona bubble for so long. So it sounds so nice. You took me on a little trip there. And obviously we're going to talk about corona and how it's impacted businesses and how it's changed your lifestyle and how you work. But before I do and we get into all that stuff, how has lockdown been for you personally? Have you managed to achieve anything or commit to a new project?
that's a great question. Thank you. I've achieved a lot actually. So I have to be honest, when lockdown first hit, I went into fear because it was just so unusual. The information was so difficult to get hold of, like what's going on. And I had the fear, I have to be honest, for a couple of days. And my husband said to me, "You're panicking." I was like, "I'm not panicking."
Don't tell me I'm panicking.
Actually, I am a bit. And then I started to notice, obviously the Jamaican flag from Aquaba Yoga, yay! Woo! And so I then thought, pulled myself together and thought, hang on, you're a coach, you're a dream project coach, you need to help people. And I could see my clients needed support, and people were worried, stressed, crying, upset, all of that. And I thought, I have to lead here and support people. That's what I say I do. So I pulled myself together. The first thing I did was I have a group called Turn Your Vision into Results. I have 90 people and counting in that group. It's like a Facebook program. And I did extra sessions for them for free. So when people are in that group, they pay for a lifetime membership. It's like a one-off fee. And so I just decided I'm going to be generous. So I started to do 2 extra sessions a week. I had guest speakers in. Going to have to get you in as a guest speaker, actually, Deanne.
Okay.
Because I see you're a YouTube presenter and I don't know much about YouTube, so we must talk. Anyway.
We will, don't worry.
Yeah. And then I did an inspiration session myself once a week. And we also do something called co-working magic. So we work together every Friday, and it was just like to stop the isolation. So we had long, or often day-long or half-day sessions, just working together. And then the other thing I did was I created 2 workshops. One was called Find a Way for Your Small Business. And it was basically looking at how to pivot, how to turn things around. What are you going to do now? What's relevant? What do people need? How can you use your strengths and skills right now? And that's still going on, actually. I think some people are only now thinking, what can I do?
Yeah.
And some people are like, right out of the gate, I need to pivot. So I was dealing with all those different places and helping people. And then I did another workshop called Build Relationships, Build Your Business, which was all about, you may not be able to sell now, you may not be able to do very much now, although actually you can do a lot and you can sell a lot. You're in that space of, is it okay to sell? Is that going to feel inappropriate? And for both of those are like the fastest selling workshops I've ever done in my career, because
Wow.
people, I was just, somehow my radar was just really switched on to what do people need. And the other thing I did was I had a sliding scale, so you could pay either £2, something like £12, £27, so that no matter what you were dealing with, you could take part. And that people chose to pay at all different levels. I thought everyone was going to go for the £2.
£2.
No, and the money went to food banks, so via the Trussell Trust, who organise food banks in the UK. And I also asked friends and family to contribute. And so we raised about 1,200 and counting. That's a lot of food, that you can buy for people who are struggling. So it's kind of win-win-win. So helping people, good for my business, good promotion for my business, helping the people that are on the workshop, and also helping people who've been hit really, really hard by... I just can't bear the thought of, especially children, not being able to eat. I just think it's disgusting.
I know. And honestly, that's so amazing. When I read that, I was just like, my heart went, because it's amazing how many different people have found ways to support people in the community that are losing out because of what's happened. I mean, it's not preventable, it's corona. No one expected this to happen. Sometimes I pause and I'm like, I actually feel like I'm in a movie. I don't understand it. But the way people have kind of found ways to raise money, especially for people that are self-employed or on 0-hour contracts, it's phenomenal. And actually what you did was amazing. And you said and counting, so is that still ongoing? Are you still donating to food banks?
The link's still open, and there was like a peak actually, and then donations have like calmed down a bit, but I thought, no harm in keeping it open. Occasionally I'll say to my group, if you want to make a donation, and they keep donating, so it's still there. Yeah,
it's amazing. And your entrepreneurial spirit is unreal. I've got so much to touch on. I need to try and stay on track because my mind is making me want to ask millions of questions. But how have people approached? So you've mentioned obviously how you need to adapt to the new way of life. What's been the hardest thing, do you think, for your clients to get around, and how have you kept them motivated? Because a lot of freelancers, myself included, had a period of time over Corona's first lockdown that I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to work again. I don't know. I don't see any opportunities. So what was the hardest thing for your clients, and how did you get them through that?
Good question. There's like 2 layers. So when it first hit, it was just like pure panic and fear, and especially for my clients who are bricks and mortar, like building based, really hard for them, because if you're like a hairdresser or you run a salon, and of course you can pivot and start talking about beauty tips online, but it's hard to do that kind of thing overnight. You need time to do all that. And then people who were online or used to delivering in kind of a bit of online, bit offline, had to suddenly just swivel to doing everything online. And so it was like a lot of worry and panic and fear, like just men's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? What, you know, exactly. By the way, when you said you were like, it's in a movie, I was with some friends the other day and we were saying, every now and then we think, am I imagining this? Is this real? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's so weird. It's so
Yeah.
weird. So the first thing was like just dealing with that weird mindset and like, what's the best thing for me to do, and confidence. And now what I'm finding is a lot of people are like, we thought this was going to be over by now. You mean
Yeah.
another 6 months, 6 months, another year of this? Like, so it's all minds. It's always, everything always boils down to mindset. Even if you're struggling with resources or you don't know what exactly to do, ultimately it's like really kind of keeping your confidence high, believing in yourself, having support around you. It's all kind of linked to mindset.
Yeah. I agree with you there. So I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you hate me for zero point 0.5 seconds, okay? So when I was younger and a lot more naive, I used to hear a lot of my friends talk about, oh, we have a life coach or we have a mentor. And I used to sit there and think, why are you paying someone to just cheer you on? And
Yeah.
honestly, now I would hit myself and be like, how dare you? Because you don't realize how much value there is in having someone show you how to self-reflect and change your mindset, because it is so true. Once you close your mind, you're like, that's it. I'm never going to work. My income's going to stop. Corona's ruined me. It's so easy to get into a really bad state. What do you feel, or actually a better question, why do you think now would be a good time to speak to a life coach or a business consultant, especially when there's so much uncertainty?
First, my main answer is now is always the best time to speak to a business coach or a life coach. Coaching, you're never going to lose with coaching, because there's always stuff that you don't know about your mind, about how the human mind works. And a coach will be able to pick up on things that are so familiar to you, all those negative habits that you just, they're just like this warm overcoat that you put on every day you don't see. The coach is going to hear you speaking. They're going to hear your patterns. They're going to hear your blocks. So it's always a good thing. Right now, it's triply important because there are a lot of mindset challenges. You might be around people who are struggling, and the environment is a major impactor. So I'm reading this book at the moment called Atomic Habits, James Clear. It's brilliant, by the way. And heard people talk about, and I'm kind of, you know, things you pick up and you know about. I'm reading this book, I'm just nodding and underlining it all the way through, because he's saying environmentally it's been proved your environment influences you, the people you hang out with, the conversations that you take part in, and your family, your friends. Of course you love them, but you know how some people just always bring the conversation into a negative, and it's sometimes, because we all need to vent. We all need to vent. It's healthy. There's no point in pretending la 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 everything's great all the time.
Yeah.
But you know how some people just like, my husband calls and he says when they walk in the room all the flowers die.
Oh, yeah. I think we all know someone, at least one person in our lives that is like that. So I completely get that.
You know, and so right now it's like you can't blame people for being in that space because it's tough. So I'm not being a downer on people who are struggling, by the way, and certainly not people who are like really dealing with serious mental well-being issues. They need our support.
Yeah.
But it's like really important to bathe yourself in positivity for the majority of the time, or not kind of la 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 positivity, because the way I coach people, I want them to look at what's real and the reality of what they're struggling with. So we have to look at the shadow side of things, but don't get stuck in it. You know, because then nothing is going to move forward. And often there's so much more opportunity out there than we really. We often think that what we know is the sum total of what there is to know and experience about life. It's minuscule. Our life experience is a tiny drop in the ocean. It's a big world out there. There are literally billions of us on the planet. There are literally millions of us in London alone, where I'm based. And like, I haven't met everyone in London. I don't know all the opportunities. I don't know all the industries out there. I don't know all the people. It is massive.
Yeah.
So we forget that.
Definitely. And I do think there is a bit of a stereotype, to be fair, or maybe it's just what I've surrounded myself or my experience has taken me to around life coaches, because I think obviously it depends on who you vibe with as well. Not every life coach is going to be suitable for every individual. I think sometimes you see, you know, those online promo videos and it's people like screaming like, yeah, you can do this, and you're like, oh my god. But it's so refreshing to see how much you talk about visualization and trying to visualize where you are. Why do you think that's so important?
For me, it's the core, and thank you for, I can see you've done your homework. Thank you for,
Well, I try.
thank you so much. For me, vision is at the core of everything, because it's the thing that really got me started when I first started learning about mindset and learning about the human mind. And when you think about it, if you're going to go towards something, you're going to develop something, you need to kind of imagine it first. It needs to be an idea first, right? Like, thing in the world that's like worth having, like that we've constructed as humans, has been created out of the imagination. Even the things that we call countries, boundaries, it's all a social construct. It's made up. Someone decided, let's create boundaries. Someone decided, let's create government. Someone decided, I'm going to create this business. I'm going to create this drug that heals people from this illness. I'm going to create the telephone. I'm going to create Instagram. They're all blessings that previous generations and current generations are leaving for us, all gifts from our imagination. And I love to help people realize what's in your imagination that's going to light your life up and light other lives up. And hopefully when you're gone from this realm, it's your legacy. You're leaving it behind for other people. Dig deep into your heart, your gut, your personal brilliance, and recognize it and bring it into the world. Like, trust yourself. And that's what a coach can do, because a lot of the time, some of us have been brought up to be very modest, not to believe in ourselves. But every single person in this world, there'll never be another person like you. Even if you're an identical twin, you're not. Even identical twins have differences and different ideas, you know. So you have something to bring, and it starts with a vision. It's like tuning into your ideas and hearing them, seeing them, feeling them. It starts with that.
I completely agree with you. And as I said, young, naive me used to be like, oh my God, just get on with it and figure it out. But as you said, I'm completely with you there. And especially the point of helping other people, because that's the beauty of it. Once you help someone realize their potential or even guide them, you're allowing them to then have that ripple effect on others. So yeah, I love that, Mel. I actually want to ask you how you got into this. Where did this career come from? Where did you start, and what inspired you to get into it?
Oh my goodness me, that's going way back.
Yeah.
So how I started, the very, very first start was so long ago, like decades ago. I went to a personal development program, and the woman leading it was just like a couple of hours, a local thing. I wasn't living in London at the time. I was living in East Anglia, and no, Cambridge. I used to live in Cambridge, and I went to this thing. It was like this women's development thing. And this woman said a lot that I can't remember now, but she said one thing that I always remember. And she said, you are the center of your own universe. And I just walked away from that thinking, what does that mean? What does that mean? I kept thinking about it. And she kind of did some light coaching of people in the room. And I was watching her thinking, this is really interesting. It's really different. And then I did amazing 3-day program called The Mastery. I'm not even sure if it's still going.
Yeah.
Watching the leaders and thinking, oh my God, they're incredible. How can they tell that person's thinking that? How can they work with a group of people without feeling shy or embarrassed or worrying they're going to get it wrong? And they were like, people were like having breakthroughs left, right, and center. I was like, how do you do that? How do you do that? And then I did a very, very powerful 3-day program called the Landmark Forum. Just done all over the world, and it is life-changing. It's like incredible. And it was just like someone peeled back layers and layers of worry, doubt, negativity from my brain, and it was like being new, fresh and new. And I just thought, I want to be able to do this. I want to know how to help people get into that fresh, new, inspired state. It's like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I'll never ever forget those experiences, and I'll always be grateful to those coaches who opened my eyes to what life can be.
Okay. And speaking of coaches, I heard that you walked on hot coals with Tony Robbins. So tell us about that.
Well, first of all, it wasn't just me and Tony in the room.
Oh, okay. You and others, but you were there.
At the Excel Centre, he came to the UK. This was, I think it was about 3 years ago. And there was like 9,000 people in the room. Can you imagine the energy? And like right from the get-go, when you walk in the room, I don't know if you've been to the Excel Centre, it's enormous.
Okay.
That was only like 1/10 of the space that we're in. There was like, must be like millions of people there. You walk in the room, the music is blaring loudly. I took my niece and nephew, and I read one of his books years and years ago. I think it was called something like Unleash the Power Within, you know, that kind of
Yeah.
he's like, if you're a coach, he's just like one of the top coaches. And so I always wanted to experience what he does. And also I was really intrigued by, well, can I walk on hot coals, burning hot coals? Am I brave enough? Can I do it? Have I got what it takes? And one of the ultimate mindset challenges. And what shocked me was, I don't think I'm giving any secrets away here, but I just hadn't read the details. When you arrive, I thought, oh great, he's going to like build us up over 3 days. We walked on hot coals on day 1. And I was like, if that's on day 1, what's he going to do to us on day 2?
Yeah.
On day 1, they basically, without giving too much away, he takes you in and out of fear. So you learn to kind of be with fear, be afraid, observe the fear, start to manage it. And then, I walked on hot coals. And even then I was kind of like, they're probably not really that hot. And on the way home, I was on this train with someone who'd assisted with him for years.
Yeah.
Got chatting to this lovely woman. And I said, they're not really that hot, are they? And she said, are you kidding me? She said, once I walked on those coals and a little bit of coal got caught between my toes and it burned like,
oh my God.
This is dangerous stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I have really done it. I've walked across fire. So
that's crazy. It just shows it's mind over matter. Obviously, it's really hard to get to that state, but it is true. It's mind over matter, because I'll tell you now, there's not enough money to get me walking across any hot coals. So I really salute you.
Sure. Sure.
Okay, so as much as obviously I really enjoy speaking with you, Mel, actually, and it's really interesting learning everything from your perspective, but for those people that are still really, really worried, especially, I don't know if you caught it this morning, Piers was having a massive rant, and I never ever agree with Piers Morgan, by the way, but on TV he was talking about how unsupportive the government are being to people that are freelancers or jobs they deem as not being necessary. What would you say to people that are really, really struggling right now? What would your advice be to them?
The advice I'd give them is, first of all, just if you're watching this and you're in that space, I see you, I hear you, and I know what it's like to be in that space. I'm by no means going to be flippant about it. But I want you to remember that there is always help out there. For a start, if you want coaching, coaches who have just finished training need to coach people for free. I literally saw someone this morning on LinkedIn saying, who wants free coaching? I need to get my hours in. Because when you qualify as a coach, you need to get hours in, and a lot of coaches just offer free coaching, so you can like ask around and look around for that. The other thing is there's a lot out there for free at the moment, because and I teach this to my premium clients, one of the best ways to grow what your business is to build relationships. I'm going to give away a massive tip here, but I don't probably not a secret, but people don't always realize the framework behind it. Give away stuff for free so that people join your mailing list. So everyone is giving stuff away for free. Top coaches, top consultants, top business advisors. And if you have no spare cash, get onto YouTube, look online and see what's being offered for free, because everyone knows that your freebie better be good, because it's your first point of contact with someone. Don't fob them off with something cheap and nasty. It's got to be something valuable. So I started when I didn't have money to spend on expensive coaches or courses. I literally would get onto YouTube and watch stuff, and it's great stuff. People give away really good tips. The other thing is to look out for free Facebook groups run by really good coaches, so that you can be in a community of people who are driving forward, positive, and you will get so much support in those groups like you wouldn't believe. There are a lot of angels out there who want to help people like you.
Yeah.
So those are my first 2 tips. I'm just trying to think, can I think of the third one? Because I like to do things in 3.
3. I'm the same.
I'm going to do self-promotion, if I may. I'm going to say, I have got a freebie. It's an audio visualization. It's a 6-minute audio. You can close your eyes, listen to it, and imagine your ideal future. And you might be thinking, yeah, what's that going to do? But actually, as we've been talking about, if you can just allow yourself to imagine a better future, no matter what you're going through right now, and believe me, I've been through tragedy, I've been through failure, I know people think, oh, I'm always cheerful. I've been through some tough times. So, but just have your North Star, have that guiding light, because if you keep moving towards it one step at a time, things will open up for you. So those are my immediate thoughts. And just don't give up. Please don't give up.
Brilliant. And we've actually pinned the link to your freebie. So thank you very much. So for everyone watching, you can actually find it. It's pinned there. Nexus Creative HQ, and it's got the link for your audio visualization. And obviously, if people wanted to get in touch with you, Mel, what would be the best way?
The best way is to follow me on Instagram, which I think is, it's just showing at the top right. Dream
That's it.
Coach. And if you follow me on Instagram and click on my Linktree link in the bio, all my links are there. And if you sign up for my freebie, I'm just developing a whole load of other freebies. So once you're in my mailing list, I'm going to be sharing a lot of really good stuff. I'm just finishing stuff off now because I want to make sure that I'm giving you a series of freebies throughout the year that really, really help you and are really valuable. So stick with me and I will support you.
Amazing. Mel, I could literally speak to you for hours, but I think that is the best way to end this conversation. We've got all the resources available on that pinned comment, sorry. We've got everything in your bio as well. Thank you so much for everything you've provided and all the amazing work you're doing to support people through this time. And we'll have a chat soon too.
Thank you so much, Deana. Bye, everyone. Great to meet you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you again. Take care.